The Earth is destroyed to make way for a hyperspace bypass, and this is treated as a minor inconvenience. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams is a science fiction novel that uses absurd humor to explore deeply philosophical questions about existence, meaning, and humanity's place in the universe. The story follows Arthur Dent, an ordinary Englishman who escapes Earth moments before it is demolished by alien bureaucrats. The destruction was officially announced in interstellar planning documents. Humanity simply failed to notice. An indifferent universe. The universe in this book is neither cruel nor kind. It is indifferent. Humans are not special. They are not hated or revered. They are simply insignificant. This indifference forms the foundation of the novel's humor and existential tone. Absurd technology and ideas. The book introduces unforgettable concepts. The Babelfish, which translates all languages. The infinite improbability drive, which makes the impossible routine. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42. These ideas parody science fiction while questioning humanity's obsession with finding ultimate meaning. Bureaucracy is the true villain. Power in the galaxy is incompetent and absurdly bureaucratic. Earth is destroyed not out of malice, but because it is in the way, approved through proper channels. The novel suggests that systems, not villains, are often the most dangerous forces. A very human protagonist. Arthur Dent remains stubbornly human throughout the story. He longs for tea, comfort, and familiarity, even while traveling across the cosmos. This contrast between cosmic chaos and human triviality is the heart of the book's comedy. Don't panic. The most famous phrase in the novel is simple: don't panic. It serves as advice not just for space travelers, but for life itself. The book ultimately suggests that in a universe without clear meaning, curiosity, humor, and calm may be the best responses. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a reminder that even if nothing makes sense, laughing is still a valid choice. Next, we'll explore how Douglas Adams blends comedy, existentialism, and satire to redefine science fiction.
You ever come across a story that asks the biggest, most profound questions in the universe, only to turn around and give you the most ridiculous answers imaginable? Well, that's what we're diving into today. It's a tale that somehow perfectly mixed up science fiction, comedy, and some pretty deep philosophy, and became this massive cultural phenomenon that's still going strong. So let's explore the absolute cosmic comedy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Our journey really has to start with the central mystery of the whole saga. It's this completely absurd question that philosophers and scientists, well, pretty much everyone, has been trying to figure out for all of history.
Yep, that's the one, the biggie. So in the story, right, this race of hyper-intelligent beings, they build a supercomputer that's literally the size of a city. Its name? Deep Thought. And its only job is to solve this one question, once and for all. They waited, and they waited for millions of years for that one final, definitive answer. And after all that time, all that waiting, the answer is 42. That's it. Just 42. No grand cosmic reveal, no hidden meaning, just a number. It has to be one of the most brilliant, hilarious anticlimaxes in the history of literature. I mean, just think about it for a second. 7.5 million years of the most powerful computer in history crunching away for that. The genius of the joke, of course, is that an answer is totally useless if you don't even know the ultimate question. And that one moment right there just perfectly sums up the whole series, our constant search for deep meaning in a universe that is, more often than not, just chaotic, absurd, and really, really silly.
So, who on earth dreams up something this bizarre and brilliant? Well, it takes a very special kind of mind. One that was, you could argue, just as eccentric and amazing as the universe he brought to life.
Douglas Adams was this incredible mix of contradictions. He called himself a radical atheist, but his work is full of playful pokes at religious ideas. He was a passionate environmentalist and an early adopter who absolutely loved his Apple computers. And, maybe my favorite part, he was a legendary procrastinator. I mean, he was famously, almost heroically bad at hitting his deadlines. And this story just perfectly illustrates the guy's whole vibe. This huge, galaxy-spanning idea for the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it didn't come from some flash of scientific brilliance. Nope, it came from a very human, very relatable moment. Lying in a field, maybe a few drinks in, and just having a funny thought while looking at the stars.
But that one idea, born in a field in Austria, it didn't just become one thing.
It became, well, kind of everything. Adams was known for constantly tinkering, constantly rewriting his own work, and he let the guide take on a life of its own across pretty much every kind of media you can think of.
So, it all started as this totally groundbreaking BBC radio comedy back in 1978. Then came the books, the famous trilogy in 6 parts, then a cult classic TV show, stage plays, and yeah, even a big Hollywood movie. But for a whole generation of fans, maybe the most memorable version was something else entirely. The 1984 text adventure game was famously difficult. I mean, it was almost cruel. Beating its puzzles became this huge badge of honor for early gamers. And this quote from a fan, it just perfectly captures that feeling. It wasn't just a story you read or watched anymore, it was a universe you had to actively try to survive in.
But the guide's influence, it goes so much further than just being great entertainment. Its ideas were so sharp and so clever that they've actually woven themselves into our real-world chats about technology, culture, you name it.
Okay, so let's talk about one of Adam's most brilliant inventions, the Babelfish. In the story, it's this fantastic, simple solution for talking to aliens. You just pop this little yellow fish in your ear and boom, universal translation. But the idea behind it is so much deeper than it looks. Think about it, the fictional Babelfish is basically a perfect metaphor for our modern translation tools, right? It gives you an instant, direct conversion. But real, human translation, that's a different beast. It requires context, culture, what you might call world knowledge. And Adams was pointing something out. While a machine can make something foreign feel familiar, a good human translator can show you the very limits of your own language. He was kind of warning us that a perfect, easy translation might actually risk making our world smaller, not bigger. And of course, the legacy totally lives on through the fans. Every May 25th is Towel Day, where people all over the world carry a towel with them, because it is, after all, the most massively useful thing an interstellar hitchhiker can have. And that phrase, "don't panic," it's basically become a global mantra for how to face the craziness of life with a bit of calm and a sense of humor.
And that brings us to what might just be the single most perfectly written joke in the entire series, a punchline about our whole planet.
So, the character Ford Prefect. He'd spent 15 years on Earth doing research for the guide. After all that time, watching all of human history, all our art, our wars, our greatest achievements, and our worst failures, his newly revised complete entry was just 2 words: mostly harmless. It is such a devastatingly funny and humbling takedown of our own cosmic self-importance. In the end, The Hitchhiker's Guide is more than just a story. It's a way of looking at the world. It suggests that maybe the universe doesn't have some grand, serious purpose, but it is full of wonder and absurdity. And when you're faced with all that, well, maybe the best you can do is grab a towel, remember not to panic, and just try to enjoy the ride. Which kind of makes you wonder, in our own increasingly absurd world, is "don't panic" the best advice we've got?